Hey everybody, Gary here with Guitar Tricks, and in this video I want to share with you a Campfire guitar survival kit. So one of the great joys of being a guitar player is that you could take it anywhere and start a song circle, and one of the greatest places to have a song circle is around a campfire, right? But even though I'm calling it Campfire guitar, this is living room guitar, this is front porch guitar, anywhere you just want to play some songs in their most basic form, which is just strumming the chords. Maybe you're even singing along, or maybe your friend is singing along. Before we jump into it, please go ahead and click subscribe so that you get all of the latest and greatest content from Guitar Tricks. And if you want to be notified of any new lesson, be sure to also tap the bell and let us know what you'd like to see in upcoming lessons. We're always looking in the comments for ideas. So what do we need? We need about 10 chords. We need a capo. We need some simple strumming and how to understand a chord chart or a song sheet. All right, let's get into it. So we're going to think about these chords as coming primarily from three keys: the key of C, the key of G, and the key of A, and the key of E. These are very popular guitar keys because they mostly have open chords and they work great in open position. Then we use our capo so that we could just use those three keys to basically play in any of the 12 possible keys, and I'll explain how that works as we go along. So let's start with the key of G. That's definitely the most guitar friendly, and often you're going to see charts in the key of G. You might not know that actively, and you don't have to think about that right now, but that's my rationale here. And what that means is that all these chords are going to work well together. You can mix them all up and make your own song, and it's all going to sound great. So in the key of G, we have G, A minor, B minor, which we could play like this, C, D, E minor. Before we go any further, I'd like to take a moment to thank our sponsor of this video, Elixir Strings. Then key of C, we have a lot of repeats, only a couple new ones. C, D minor, that's new. E minor, repeat. F, that's new, but we could play that like that. Similar to how we played the B minor here. G, that repeat. A minor. Cool. Okay, now key of A, we have A, B minor, C sharp minor, D, E, F sharp minor. Okay, so we have a couple new chords. We have C sharp minor and F sharp minor. So for the C sharp minor, same thing we did on the B minor, just move it up 2 frets. And then for the F sharp minor, you could just play these top 3 strings with your index finger. Sometimes you'll be playing in the key of E, where generally you'll have these 3 major chords, E, A, and B. So the B, that one could be tricky, and there's a few workarounds around this. So if the bar chord is hard, you could just play the top 3 strings like this. So that's index finger on the first string, 2nd fret, counting toes to nose. Then you take your ring finger and pinky, go 4th fret on strings 2 and 3, counting toes to nose. And then you could add your 3rd finger like this, or just do the bar, whichever works for you. Okay, so how do you learn these chords quick? Well, I'm not going to teach each one individually because here I'm just giving you the whole survival kit, giving you a checklist of things to do. But whenever you encounter any chord change that's hard, so let's say G to C, you just want to practice that change isolated. And one thing I like to do, I call the hover, which is when you play the G, then when you're ready to go to the C, you want to hover your fingers right over that C major chord instead of building the chord on the guitar. A lot of times people starting out, they'll then build the C one note at a time, and you get this kind of jagged, right? So we want to actually feel the contortion of the chord without having to build it. We want to be able to do that contortion in the air and have all our fingers just go right to their spot together and then drop the chord down. And then I do the same thing going back to the G. Right? Now, if you find that one finger is more dominant than the other, like let's say from the G, you go right to the index finger first to the C. Switch it up. Give your another finger a chance to be the leader. So this one I call the brain game, where you just want to build a connection with each finger, one at a time. And so here what I'm going to do from the G, I'm actually going to lead with my ring finger. Let's say that's a weak finger. And going to the C, I'm going to place the ring finger down first and then the others. Now you might be like, oh, this goes against the advice I just gave you. No, it doesn't. We're doing this in the service of training each finger individually so that they can then all move together. So this is like just kind of switching which finger's dominant. So just kind of training the other fingers, right? Let's say my middle finger is really weak. So from the G, now I'm going to put my middle finger down first to go to the C. And then fill out the chord, right? Then go back to the hover. Cool. All right, so now the use of the capo. So let's say you pull up a chord chart and it says, okay, the chords are A minor, C, G, F. A minor, C, G, F, capo 3. Okay, so like I said, a lot of times the chords are the simple chords, but there's a capo. So A minor, C, G, F. Right? What key am I actually playing in? Well, in this case, the key is A minor or C, which are basically the same key. Don't worry about that right now. But I just moved it up 3 half steps. So A minor, A sharp minor, B minor, C minor. So now this chord right here is actually a C minor. So now I'm actually playing in the key of C minor, E flat major, just because I moved that capo up. So if we were playing with a piano player, for instance, and they said, what's the first chord? You couldn't say A minor, you would have to tell them it's actually C minor. As part of the survival kit, it's very unlikely you'll have a keyboardist there around the campfire, so don't worry about that yet. But just know that this is a tool for what we call transposition, changing the key. And when you pull up these chord charts and you see these chord charts, you're going to see very simple keys and chords you're familiar with, but you'll often see where a capo goes. And that's how that works. So now the most important thing is that you switch chords on time. It's not having a fancy strumming pattern. It's just switching chords at the right time. So let's say we have this chord progression. Let's just take House of the Rising Sun. So the first 3 chords are A minor, C, D, F, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, now I did a kind of fancy 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5, and 6. You can just go like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 4, 5, 6. That is much better than trying to be fancy and switching at the wrong time. For instance, you don't want to do this. Right? Because no one's going to wait for you. The singer's not going to wait for you. The other guitar players aren't going to wait for you. If you're creating a pause between chords, no one can play with you. You're on your own. So help yourself nail the change by keeping this simple, right? If I just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I've given myself space to change the chord. If I try to strum up until the very last moment, I've taken time away for me to be able to change the chord. So simplify it, and you can gradually make it more busy as your chord switching gets better. As far as strumming fundamentals, you just want to be able to have a loose wrist that just is constantly keeping a kind of metronomic up and down motion. So here on House of the Rising Sun, here we have 6 beats in a measure. You want to start to think about this. Is this a 4/4, meaning there's 4 beats? 1, 2, 3, 4. That's really common. Or is there 6 beats? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Also very common. 4 and 6 are the most common. But the 6/8 time signatures really could be felt as a 2, a slow 2 with groupings of 3. Here's I'll show you. I'll count out House of the Rising Sun that way. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2. See, I'm strumming twice. So we could think of it as 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3. Right? Or we could think of it as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So those are the really 2 common ones that you want to get a feel for. But the most important thing is that my wrist is loose and it keeps going up and down, and I just decide when to skip and when to strum. Sometimes I skip on the way down, sometimes I skip on the way up, and the more I get used to that, the more I could just kind of very naturally mix together those skips. That's what gives us strumming patterns. So like if we take a chord like A minor, here's a classic 4/4 strumming pattern. Down, skip, down, up, skip, up, down, skip, down, skip, down, up, skip, up, down, skip. But this stays constant. So that one goes down, down, up, down. The rhythm is bop, 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 bop. If I keep a constant down, up, that's how I get down, down, up, down. So the wrist is doing this down, up, 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 down, up. And in order to go down, down, up, down, I don't change the wrist motion. I just change when the hand strikes the notes. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and down, down, up, down, 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 up, down. But I'm still going down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Right? If you muted me, you would just think I was going like this. If you mute the video right now, right? You can't really tell when I'm hitting the strings. But because I'm what I call ghosting, sometimes on the way down, sometimes on the way up, meaning my hand goes through, but I don't actually hit the strings, I get down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, right? So really quickly, here's a few combinations of strum patterns in 4/4, and you could see the rhythm I'm showing you is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. That's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. The downs are always on the beats, 1, 2, 3, 4. The ups are always on the ands of the beats, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So with that in mind, here's a few strum patterns. When it's gray, ghost it. When it's white, actually play through it. So the top one is the one I just played. Down, down, up, down. 1, 2, and 4. 1, 2, and 4. Down, down, up, down. Right? And then the second one is 1 and 2, 3 and. 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 But notice how on beat 4, my hand doesn't just stop. It keeps the momentum. So strumming is all about keeping that momentum, keeping that wrist loose, keeping that wrist, keeping the rhythm. Another thing you want to be able to do for good strumming is just have good dynamics. That means variation of volume. Sometimes you're playing harder, sometimes softer. So you just want to keep a loose grip on the pick, and that's really going to help you. All right, so if you want to go more in depth on all these things, holding the pick, strumming, how to play each one of these chords individually, we have lessons for all of that. Here I just wanted to give you a checklist for what you're really going to need to know in order to play guitar around the campfire. If you want to learn more about playing guitar, head over to guitartricks.com. There's a library of high quality song lessons organized by difficulty. There's courses on guitar fundamentals, blues, country, rock, and so much more. Happy playing, and I'll see you in the next lesson.